Hey, thanks for checking in. This is going to be information about Hendricks County here in Indiana. I'm Brian. I'm a realtor with Daniels Real Estate. Maybe more importantly, I'm a former educator for 20 years in the Center Grove School District. So I do have a heart for education, and I know that schools are super important when you're making a decision about possibly where you want to move to, where you want to live, where you want to raise those kids. So thanks for checking in. Hendricks County has some great suburbs of Indianapolis in which to live. You're talking about Danville, Avon, Brownsburg, Plainfield, many of which have popular school districts to live in. So if you're thinking about Hendricks County, yes, I'm sure there are places you could go wrong, but I honestly can't think of one at this point. So let's talk about the schools in that area and a quick recap. I'm hitting the high schools. So this has nothing to do with elementary and middle schools because ultimately they all feed into a high school and we want our kids to graduate from a high school and go on to be productive adults. So we're looking for good high schools, excellent high schools. We're taking four criteria here. We have the graduation pathways completion, diploma strength, employment and enrollment, and median income. And if you want information on each of those, feel free to go back to the original video in this series to check out what each of those means. So let's talk about first graduation pathways completion. So based on the rankings here, it appears that Bethesda Christian has the top with 100% of their graduates getting the graduation pathways completion. That's pretty awesome. And Brownsburg, heck, they're almost at 100% at 99%, and that works its way down to Tri-West, which comes in at 89%, which is still really good, but it is the only one on this list that didn't make it into the 90s. So Bethesda Christian, obviously a private school, not entirely sure how big the graduating class is there when you're talking about Brownsburg and Avon, Plainfield. Those are going to be some large graduating classes, so the numbers kind of skewed here when you look at something that has 100%, but obviously they're doing a great job there at Bethesda Christian. All right, so let's move on over to Core 40 or higher. Now, this is going to be the number of graduates that are getting at least the Core 40 diploma from their high school, then anything from there, a technical diploma, a technical and honors diploma, international baccalaureate. There are several things here, but they have fulfilled at least the minimum requirements to get the Core 40 diploma and graduate from high school. Once again, Bethesda Christian coming in at 100%. So recent graduating class, all of them actually made their way through the Core 40 at least and graduated high school. Brownsburg, again, really high at 99.4%. Avon coming in at 96.9%, nearly 97%. Dropping down to Danville at the bottom of the list with about 85% of their students getting at least a Core 40 diploma. So obviously, really good schools here when we're talking about anything in the mid to upper 80s or into the 90% range. Obviously, they're doing a great job getting their students the diploma that they need to hopefully go on and be a successful adult, whether that's college or work environment after they leave high school. All right, so the next category is employment and enrollment. So this is within a year after they graduate high school, what percentage of students are either enrolled somewhere, which could be a college, university, whatever, or they're employed somewhere. All of these are within Indiana. That is a key statistic because we all know that a lot of people move away, whether that's for college or work or whatever. But the top of the list here for employment and enrollment in Hendricks County is Tri-West coming in at 93%, which is nice. Obviously, their kids are going on to do something within Indiana right as soon as they're done with their high school graduation. The rest of these drop into the 80% range. Not necessarily a bad thing, just by comparison, with only one in the 90% range. It is significant, I suppose. But Plainfield in the 89% range, and Cascade and Avon both in the 89% range. Bottom of the list, Danville at 81.7%, still really good, but by comparison, not as high as the others. Last category, median income. Now, this is the number of graduates who met the definition of employed, and this is in the Indiana workforce. So it doesn't take into account people who are no longer working in Indiana, but this is 5 years after they've graduated high school or should have graduated high school, whether or not they're working in the state. And so median income, Tri-West at the top of the list at median $50,000. That's incredible. for someone who is just 5 years out of high school to be making around $50,000, that's great. I think as a parent, I certainly would wish that upon my kids to be making that kind of money within 5 years. Obviously, better would be great, but that's a wonderful start to a young life. Bethesda Christian coming in the second slot, 44,672. Avon, bottom of the list, around 39,000. Still a nice income for someone in their 20s to be making, and hopefully, maybe thinking about getting that family started, or maybe that's the first step into a job that's going to springboard them onto something later on. So there's the list for Hendricks County. Like I said, I am a realtor here in the Indianapolis area, and if you're interested in finding out more information about Hendricks County, where's a good place to live, any other information you may want to know about these schools and these school districts, I would be happy to try and answer those for you. And if I need to do a little research, I'm happy to do that for you. So drop me a comment or send me a message and let me know. Thanks for watching.